So at the
I
beginning
agree.
of the season, I had my favorites as Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. My contenders,
Homer.
I know, but like there was a
I
lot
did
there.
too.
Contenders, Tennessee, Mizzou, and Ole Miss. Midland, Kentucky, OU, Mississippi State, LSU.
Ooh, that category was not a good. You were focused on something else there, Jesse. You
I
missed you missed
I
some
don't
things.
know.
You missed some
I
things.
Things have changed. Um, Dogwater, Auburn, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Texas A&M, and then just plain awful, Vanderbilt and Florida. Who could have known? You know, who could have?
Look, it's like that meme. Look at us. Who'd have
Yeah.
thought?
Um, Things have changed. If you do a little comparison, a lot of things are different now. So in my favorites, I have Texas, Georgia, and South Carolina.
This
The look
this
on Matt's face.
this we have, we have jumped the shark. Carolina in a higher. I can't. I'm quitting the podcast. Find somebody else. I can't. I can't. I
As
can't live in a world. I can't live in a world where South Carolina is a tier above Tennessee. I just can't do it. I don't want to live in that world.
you're above Bama though.
That's not better.
No, that's fair.
Once you made your peace with Beamer, Matt.
I know.
I don't have. Listen, my hatred for Beamer has definitely cooled in the last 2 years. That doesn't negate the fact that I still can't stand him. So don't go thinking just because I've let bygones be bygones that I've let everything go. I still hate them. It's still deep within me heart. It's not going anywhere. Continue,
I'm just
Jesse. I've
as
ranted
I'm
enough.
as I'm looking towards next season, I just think that there's a lot to pay attention to for
There
South
is.
Carolina. I think there's a lot of talent there. Lenora Sellers, obviously, Rocket Sanders. I think this could be a dangerous team. And like I said, I think if they had been able to pull out the win against Alabama, which again, 1 or 2 points, and they would have, and if they had gotten hot a little bit earlier in the season, we would have seen a South Carolina team absolutely in the playoffs. So they're a team to watch for me.
If I can interject real quick, I kind of feel like Carolina's in the same spot that Missouri was at the end of last season. They got
Coming off a
hot. They
great
looked
season.
good.
Yeah.
Are we going to see that regression like we did with Missouri next season? Time will tell.
I don't know. That would be one thing that would not be great. But I guess to me though, Mizzou, like I saw their record last season and I understood why they had a lot of hype on paper, but I just didn't feel it.
Mm.
And I don't know if it's because I don't like Eli Drinkwitz as well, but I just felt like it was overrated. But
Mm.
that's also me probably bringing bias into the equation. My contenders are Tennessee and Ole Miss. Again, Ole Miss this season had some losses that you're like, good gracious, like how do you lose to Kentucky? So that was a thing. Midland. Midland is where the bulk of these teams are for me. Now, A&M definitely bumped up from dog water, and they were almost in a contender spot for me. I think they had an amazing season considering where they started and where they ended last season. Mizzou is in Midland for me. Again, I think they're overrated. Matt, you already touched on it. The regression there is just it's palpable.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and I don't think that they're going to get rid of Eli Drinkwitz. But to me, I would say if you're a Mizzou fan booster in the athletic department, you've got to start thinking about some changes because you've been quote unquote like close. You've had good records. You've been bowl eligible for a few years now. So what now? Like who's going to get you to the next level? Because I think Eli Drinkwitz has plateaued. I'm putting them at Midland. Putting Alabama there. My hopes were so high. Kalen DeBoer had been given, and again, he had to work his butt off at the beginning of the season and in the off season to keep who Nick Saban had gotten there. But I just thought for the amount of talent that we have on the team, we just didn't do well. Like we didn't do as well as the talent that we have. Again, I know that like Vanderbilt got hot. We lost to Vanderbilt, but we lost to Oklahoma. We lost to Michigan. We lost to Tennessee, which again, that one made sense. We almost lost to South Carolina. There was just too many close calls. I know we beat the brakes off of LSU, but like, I don't know. I just felt like for the amount of talent that we have, we didn't do what we should have done. So maybe that's a grade on the coaches.
The ununderstandable game for me was the Oklahoma game.
Absolutely insane.
It wasn't just the fact that they lost; it was the manner in which they lost. It was so uncharacteristic of Bama.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Of Saban era Bama. We're not in the Saban era anymore.
No, we're not in the same. But that's the thing is like we're not in the Saban era, but we still have the Saban recruiting class. And so I don't know. That to me, I just is strange. And then I have LSU in Midland. I think LSU has shown a lot of promise, but I don't think that they've executed as well with their talent as they probably should. And again, maybe that's down to a coaching thing. And then Vanderbilt pops up to Midland for me. Obviously, they beat the brakes off Bama. That was insane. And they've showed a lot of promise. They've had some really close games against big teams. So for me, Vanderbilt, you're on the up and up. Dog water. Razorbacks are in dog water for me. And I hate to put it there because I love Sam Pittman, but I think they're staying. They were there for me at the beginning of the season. They're staying there. I think they should have pulled out more wins and they should have progressed a little bit more. And for me, they just didn't. OU is there. We've talked about it. They were injured the whole season, but good gracious, if it didn't matter against Alabama. But for me, still the rest of the season wasn't great. Auburn's there as well. You got a big name coach in Hugh Freeze. You have somewhat of a team you're putting together and they're just not executing. That may change, but I think they're dog water. Just plain awful. Bless their hearts. Kentucky, what is happening? What is happening?
They're a basketball school, Jessi. They're a basketball school.
I mean, but like, mercy. And then Mississippi State, that's a hard place to recruit to. I'm sorry. I know Mississippi State fans are going to disagree with me, but Starkville is a hard place to recruit to. And poor things.